Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Gaby U Show. I am your host, Gaby U. So today I have an amazing guest, Marlene Rosana. And before we go into our discussion, I'm going to tell you some things about her. Dr. Marlene Rosana is a family nurse practitioner, a functional medicine practitioner, essential oil expert, and speaker. She is a dedicated wife and the mother of two beautiful children. She is also the co-founder and CEO of NewPath Health Institute, a 100% virtual practice where she helps women entrepreneurs who are struggling with focus and productivity balance their hormones naturally so that they can scale their business. Prior to starting to pivot into functional medicine, Dr. Rosana spent over 16 years working in nursing, long-term care facilities, rehabilitation centers, hospitals, and inpatients' homes, providing bedside care and also for the disabled. Last year, she was among the many healthcare providers who traveled to New York City, which was the epicenter of COVID-19, to assist in providing care at one of the local hospitals. Dr. Rosana has been featured in Foreign Messenger newspaper, spoken as a guest speaker in churches both on-site and online nationwide, and also on YouTube channel. She strongly believes that delicious, healthy, and balanced living is a key to thriving. Therefore, she's on a mission to empower others to achieve just that while crushing their struggles one by one. And that is Dr. Marlene Rosana for you. Marlene Rosana, welcome to the Gaby U Show.
Thank you so much, Gaby. It's a pleasure, truly an honor to be here with you. I look forward to our discussion.
Yeah, so happy to have you here, finally.
Yes. Yes.
We've been trying to get this interview in, and I'm so glad we finally are here now to know more about you. So before we get started in our going too deep in our discussion, I like to start with my two icebreaker questions. That's what I ask all my guests. So the first question is, I want to know, what is your favorite food?
That's a tough question, because I'm going to be honest with you. I love eating. I love food.
You are in my club.
Yes. It's hard, but one thing for sure that I know, I love my traditional food. Yes. I'm originally from Cameroon in Central Africa, and my favorite food, we have so many different.
Yes.
Oh, it's
Cameroon, they know how to cook, man.
Yes, that's right. So I was like, which one is the favorite one? But I would say that it's what we call fufu. Okay. And fufu is made of cassava flour. So I just, ever since I can remember, I've always loved it.
Okay.
Loved it, yes.
Yes. So, with the fufu, I know it's made in different forms. So the one you like is with cassava, because they have some that are made with yam, African yams, they have some they made with oatmeal, so, and it comes, kind of describing it for some of our listeners that might not exactly know how it is, so can you explain how that comes and how you eat
it? Sure. But yes, cassava flour is pretty much made from cassava that women dry and they grind. So they turn it into a really fine flour pretty much. Okay. And the way you make it, you boil some water. Water has to be boiling. And then you pour the cassava flour in it. And you have a stick, some kind of stick, I don't know how to call it.
Wooden stick?
Yes, wooden stick, yes. And you have to kind of mix it all together until it becomes a smooth, it becomes like a smooth... kind
of like a dough, but
it
comes together. Okay.
Yes. And cassava flour, when you make it into fufu, it's a little bit sticky as opposed to other types, other flours, but it's just great. Usually we eat it with some kind of stew with okra maybe, or some stew made of some kind of nut butter, peanut butter, or for those who prefer almond butter, stuff like that. And you can add pretty much whatever you want. Some people put shrimps, you can put beef, you can put pork, you can put
vegetables,
yes, you
leaves. Yes.
You just make it rich. It's just delicious. Yes.
I know with the fufu, when we eat it with the stew, or we call it sometimes soup, there's a lot of meats and vegetables in it, you know. You eat it with the fufu. And you use your bare hands, right?
That's right. That's where all the fun is, and the flavor, and it's
oh my, you're making me hungry now. I think I was thinking of making pizza for the kids this afternoon, but now I'm thinking maybe I need to do fufu.
Now, just talking about it makes me also want to eat it.
Yes.
Make some this weekend.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, so the next thing I want to ask you, Marlene, what is your favorite quote?
All right. I have many, but one of them that was just so profound to me was from Charles Swindoll. And he said pretty much life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. And to me, that statement just, encompass just, not only can you look it in the Christian way, but also in the secular way, because it just encompasses our whole life and how we react to it. It can either break us or make us.
That's right. I love that. And I think I use that quote too sometimes in my life, that because it's just the way the world is. You can't just predict what's going to happen.
So
but
true.
The only thing you can control your own self, how you react to it. You have the power. You don't know what's going to happen. You plan your day like, okay, this is going to happen. This.
So
and something else happens. But how do you react to it? Do you get flustered? Do you figure it out? Or you just go, forget about it?
So
There's so many ways.
People can talk about you, but then it's like, okay, are you going to let that affect you?
That's right.
It's about I feel like it's about rising above all that and just not let any of that just touch you.
Yes.
Because not only when you do that, to me, you preserve yourself, you preserve your health, because we know that all these things just affect us in all levels.
Yes.
Even when you deal with church, we know there are many people that have left the church because people did that or this or that was done to them. But would you let all these things affect you? Same thing with your health. You look at it, it's like, okay, the doctor tells you this news, or this is happening. But the big question is, what are you going to do with that information? What are you going to do?
Yes, that is so true. And it's actually something that I probably posted it today. It was interesting. It was something about you will be judged no matter what. So you might as well be what you want to be.
That's true, by the way. Even when you do something good, people will always find a reason to criticize you.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what it is. Or maybe did it this way instead of that. It's just like, hey, you know what? Don't let that phase you.
Because the thing is that if we expect that we have to be liked by everybody, not everybody is gonna like us. And we too, we don't like everybody. So how do you think that everybody will like you? And just do what's the best thing you want to do in your heart, what you want to because we get so bogged down, like, what would this person say, what would this of course sometimes we listen to it's not that we shouldn't listen to advice, but it's just that don't get it overrun your decisions, like just too much of a people pleaser.
Yes. And that's one thing. Hey, you know what? That's about self-care also, Gaby. It's about self-care, knowing boundaries and knowing when to say, hey, no, I can't do it, or not right now.
That's right. Setting boundaries, learning how to say no without giving an explanation.
So true. And I know you're aware of that. I've been so much into human design now, and I try to go too much into that because it can become a rabbit hole, but I just take like the main things and see how can I apply it. And with human design, what I learned about who I am is that as opposed to my husband, for example, he's someone that something can happen, he can make a decision right away and move on. Me, I need to sit back and think about it and pause and think and be like, okay, how does that resonate with me? Am I at peace with that? Is it something I can do, rather than, oh, because they want me to do it, I'm going to go ahead and do it. So you also have to know about yourself and know, because a lot of people want you to make a decision right now. Tell me.
But that is not you.
But if it's not you,
and it can cause a lot of stress too for yourself. Not knowing what your capabilities. Say, okay, yes, I know you want me to make a decision, but for me, I need to give me time so I can think about it.
There you go.
So you not be rushed to do stuff that you don't want to. Yeah.
Like my husband, he will decide and do something, like we'll talk and say, okay, let's do it. I'm like, okay, that's a good idea. And in my head, I'm thinking, okay, I need to analyze it. I'm the analyzer.
That's like for me too. My husband, he's that way too. I am the one that like, let's just do it right now. It's like, are you gonna think about it? No, right now.
And that's my husband. Sometimes as we are even talking, he'll go ahead and do it. And I'm like, wait. And he's like, well, some things you just have to go ahead and do.
Yeah, he already got all the plans together and the ideas, everything, while you are still thinking about it.
Yes.
You see, that is why, God brought you guys together, because if you had somebody that both of you are always thinking, sometimes things will not get done, and you also need you there so that he will not sometimes go and do something that needs to be, so you kind of just balance each other.
That's true. Very true. You need that balance. Everybody needs balance, right?
We need all that. That's why we're all different, and that's one thing of not trying to compare with other people. Everybody's made differently, and you just need to know that your secret sauce for yourself,
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, this is a good way to segue into my next question. So this is where I want you to tell me what you feel has shaped you to be this woman you are today. I want you to share, is it from your victories, your struggles? Is it from health, career, childhood? Like, just go all the way to tell us.
Oh, boy. That's a loaded question, Gaby.
Yes.
And I can go pretty far back when I was little. Not many people know that about me, but when I was little, I got really sick. And I was probably about 5 years old. I got really sick. I was admitted in the hospital. And without going too much into details, I spent the night there. My mom had to go home and take care of the other kids. And when she came back in the morning, they were going to discharge me from the hospital, and I couldn't walk.
Wow.
And she, she was concerned, like, what's going on? And the doctor came examining me. They said, well, we don't really know what happened over the night. She got up in the night. He asked the nurses, and come to find out, in the night, I got out of bed. I had an IV in my arm, and I went and just walked all over the hospital, started bleeding all over. They didn't tell her anything. So he examined me, and he told her that, I'm sorry, and that was back home in Cameroon, and he told her, I'm sorry, but your daughter is never going to walk again. I don't know what happened. I wasn't able to use my arms, my legs. And he was like, I can't explain it, but you just need to just take her home and just take care of her, because from what I see, she's not going to walk again. They would send me up and I'll fall, raise my arm. I couldn't raise my arm or anything like that. So she got really, as a parent, you panic, try to figure out what am I going to do and stuff like that. With my dad, they talked about it. And so she left me home and with my siblings to watch over me. She left, went to her work. She was an accountant, went to the bank, explained to them what happened, and she was coming back. And when she left me, actually, I started standing up and taking few steps and falling. I'll take few steps and fall. So when she came back, my siblings told her that. And and by the way, that doctor up to today doesn't know that I'm walking. He still doesn't know. So she, so with that, she was like, okay, so then there is hope. Something needs to be done. So she took me. I actually had to go to France to do some extensive physical therapy over there for a great amount of time. And every year I had to go back there, either with my dad or her, just for the doctor over there to check me, make sure everything was good. I don't remember everything. I remember bits and pieces of it. But one thing for sure is that I was very much impacted by the care that the doctor over there had for me and the nurses. It was just great. Just thinking about it, it just brings tears. But it was just so great. And did I fully recover? I'm able to walk. But one thing, my arm, I never fully regained. The side that had the IV in, I never fully recovered from that. So I cannot move it like I would like to. So I've always been limited in sports and things like that. So be cautious about, what type of sport I will play and stuff like that. So with that, the desire always came in my heart. I want to do something to help people. And at the time, I didn't know anything about functional medicine, of course, but I just knew that there was this great desire in my heart to help people. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to go to med school. So that's how, with everything, I went to Benin, went to school there in West Africa, then ended up over here. And with being an international, a lot of things. Anyways, I ended up going into nursing school. And but even in nursing school, when I was doing my bachelor, there was a course that they had, and that was about natural remedies. And I was just so drawn to that course. I was like, wow, this is just so fascinating to me. But I didn't really, and I was always like, wow, these are things that I would love to help people with. And without much thinking, then you finish the program, start working and stuff like that. But I had my son in 2011. And no problem, I had him C-section. A year later, we were in Michigan, Barron Springs, Michigan. A year later, we moved over here to Texas. And boy, he started having serious health issues. When we were in Michigan, we found out he was allergic to fish. And lots of runny nose and stuff like that. Got here in Texas, within days of being here, end up in the hospital, wheezing, coughing, things like that. And from there, it was a roller coaster for the next at least 3 years or so, to where almost every month we were in the hospital. He was admitted, or emergency room, or sick visits, fever. And during that time, I put him on tons of Tylenol, ibuprofen. He was on inhalers, breathing treatments, allergy medications for constipation. The list goes on and on and on and on. And what happened to him really, and when I would talk to the doctors, I wasn't really getting the answers that I was looking for, because I was like, in my family, nobody has allergies of anything. Why is he allergic? Where is this coming from? I couldn't understand. And it's like, well, he is. I'm like, this doesn't make sense to me. All this wheezing and all that. Where is all this? It's like, it doesn't make sense to me. Where is that coming from? But the doctors were like, you just have to learn to deal with, manage all that. There is nothing more we can do, So, and then that's when just it took off. I just started doing my research and just started. I landed on Dr. Josh Ask's YouTube channel. I learned so much from him. That's where I started using essential oils. I became an essential oil coach, because I was like, wow, this is just mind-blowing to me. There is so much I can do. Started learning, using these things on him. He was having a lot of skin issues, eczema, itching all the time and stuff like that. And I started just making my own skincare products for him, with shea butter and stuff like that, using essential oils, and the skin started clearing. He was and I was applying the oils on him and things like that. And the wheezing wasn't as bad. The coughing wasn't as bad. The fevers were going down. The sleep was improving. So many things were changing. Then I was like, okay, so these essential oils are working. They are great. What else can I learn? There has to be more. There has to be a way. I was like, this helped me manage him without the medications, because the medications started going down and down. But I'm like, but there has to be something more than this. Did again some more research, found out about diet. Oh man, it was just like, wow. I started doing the GAPS diet on him. I just did it for a month. And yes, and his allergies, like he started eating eggs, and he wasn't allergic to almonds. He it's just like the allergies were, and the interesting thing, he started seeing an allergy doctor. And when we went to the visit, as I was waiting in the room, that's after I had started the GAPS diet. A month later, we had the appointment. I went to the room, and I was so excited because I was like, I need to share it with him, tell him what I did. And, and I got there, and there was a book on the little table, and picked the book. And guess what? It was talking about GAPS diet, how it's a joke, how you shouldn't be following that, and it doesn't work, and people think that people can change their allergies with this. And so I was like, okay, I guess I'm not going to tell him anything. So even him up to now, he doesn't know that that has really helped. He just went and did the blood work, and he was like, oh, his allergies are going down, his numbers are going down, but never said, oh, are you doing anything different? And I just left it alone. I just kept doing my own thing. But I really saw the impact of diet, and changing your skincare products, the skincare products we were using that we thought were so safe, and just starting making these things from scratch, just even the counter cleaner. I mean, the dishwasher, the detergents, I just started making all that from scratch using essential oils, and his health started improving. And at the same time, our health started improving too. It was just amazing. And my mom, I mean, to me, it was just like, until I found out functional medicine, and that just took it to another level. And I was like, wow, I can teach people about that. I mean, I'm not going to go in too much because we'll seriously be here all day if I do, because there is so much. But this was just a life-changing experience, not only for him, but for the whole family. It was a blessing in disguise, really. And that's where that quote, came to me, like, I don't even remember what I was doing. And I just saw that, like, life is 10% what happened to you and 90% how you react. And instead of me just getting sad and be like, oh, what are we going to do? This is it. It's like we took that and just did our research and did something about it. And now I'm able to help others. That's just a great fulfillment to me. It's like no questions. And it's like, I know, I have no doubt in my mind what I'm here for. It's just like, it's just so clear, crystal clear in my mind. So wow. It's a blessing.
That is amazing. I mean, just that's your story from, having this problem in childhood got you kind of interested as you want to be in the medical field, have to deal with your son, and then, all these domino effects now to the family, and, some of those things happen in our lives for a reason. Maybe if that thing didn't happen when you were a child, you would not, maybe be in the medical field or, in the health field, and, and if that thing didn't happen to your son, maybe you would just not explore other options that have, so they're just the way that, like that quote, that 10% is about what happens to you and 9% is what you do with it, and not just giving up or just being that mental victim mentality. Like, okay, this is how it's going to be. And this is what I always encourage people, like, as long as there is life, there is hope. Just keep seeking, just look, keep finding that. You'll find it might take a long time, but just don't give up, because this is what I went through. I went through that with my health, which, mine personally, which is how I found functional medicine. I dealt with these GI issues, and I think there was a reason why all this happened, because there were some of the things I had that normally with just medications, most people will just get rid of it for some reason. It wasn't happening to me, and it's just transforming this, what we say, lemons into sweet lemonade, and I don't say lemonade because lemonade just is sour, so sweet one.
Yes.
So I mean, it's amazing that these things you can do now, so, and I know you are probably so proud of many things, but I want you to just put a summary of what is one thing that you say you're proud of if I just see you on the street, I don't know you, I just say, hey, Marlene, what's your problem? It just comes in right away.
Oh man, there are many things, but I think one of the proudest things is being a mom. It's been a mom, hands down. It's yes. I never thought that I would get pregnant, and just that of itself, and not just with one, two,
Yes.
It's
a boy and a girl.
Yes, there. It's a blessing. Yes. So that's out of everything, that's the proudest.
Yeah. I mean, like you talk about, I don't know if you want to share with me on that, being a mom, that not knowing nothing, thinking you could pregnant, could you share what happened? Like,
yes, sure. Okay. So when I, in 2007, I found that I had fibroids, and that was just like that, but from the time I found out that I had fibroids, it was just a question of just monitoring them. But they just started growing so quick. And I was like, wow, what's going on? More discomfort and higher, bleeding and things like that. Back pain, lots of back pain. So you got to the point where the OBGYN said, hey, we need to take them off. We need to take them out. The biggest one was, I think, 15 centimeters. I looked like I was 5 months pregnant, I think. I had 3 of them. And I remember few days, actually, maybe like about a week before the surgery, I started having so much pain now when I would go to the restroom to urinate. And I went back to the doctor, and she checked, and she said, well, the only thing I can think of is that the fibroid, the blood flow is pretty much cut off. And that was the fibroid that was just laying against my bladder. And that's why the blood flow is cut off to that. So it's actually dying. And that's what is causing you the cramping and all that. And so the surgery was, when I went to see her, was on Monday. The surgery was going to be on Friday, gave me pain medications, things like that. And when her showing me the pictures, it's true. It was actually becoming necrotic. That's why I was having all that pain. When she did the surgery, I had some on one of my fallopian tubes. And even before the surgery, she had asked me, the positions they are in, how do you feel about just taking everything out? And I was like, oh no, I'm not even married yet. I would love to have kids someday. So she's like, okay, I'm going to do my best. But, sometimes you go in there and it's impossible, and you just have to do what you have to do. So the surgery went well. She was able to remove them. And while she was checking, there was one that was in one of the fallopian tubes blocking, actually on both, but more on one that was blocking it. So she said, with that already, your chances of getting pregnant, she couldn't go in and remove it because the fallopian tubes are so tiny. So she didn't want to damage anything, especially that I had told her, okay, I wanted to have kids. So she left them there, the fibroids. But she told me, it will be harder for you to get pregnant and stuff like that. So, but yes, so when I got married, that's one thing that I was nervous about, but, I did what I had to do, did my supplements, tried to take care of myself and things like that. And I got pregnant with my son. So that's why I was like, it's one of the proudest. And then a year later, almost 3 years later, I got the daughter. So I was like, that was just a blessing to me. That's the proudest, because it was always that question in my mind. I had a miscarriage before I had him. So I was like, okay, am I going to be able to? But, I was followed throughout the pregnancy with him. I was having, my progesterone was low. So I was having a lot of bleeding. I would just be standing talking to someone and I just feel a gush. And I go to the restroom and it's just blood all over. So even during the pregnancy, we ended up going to the hospital multiple times. And there they will always check, do the, sono, make sure everything is okay. Then they put me on prometrium, which helped me with the progesterone. And I was able to carry the pregnancy throughout. And because at the time I wanted to go to med school, but that medication, oh wow, that put me to sleep. Like I will sit down in front of the computer trying to study and I'm like, I need to take a nap. So I wasn't able to study. to take the MCAT for med school. And that's one of the reasons I was like, okay, this might be tough. So yes, going through all that, I had to make a decision like, okay, med school is going to be super busy. I'm not going to be with him. God blessed me with this beautiful baby. I want to be there. And so I decided, it was either med school or nursing. And I was like, nursing seemed to just be, I don't want to say the easier pathway, but the one where I will have more time to where I can spend with him. And so that's when I went, I continued with nursing as opposed to going to med school.
Wow, that's amazing. And with your second one, how was that? Was that the delivery? Was that fine? I mean,
it was good. With her, actually, there was another fibroid.
That they never go away.
I'm telling you, because when they did the first one, she was like, oh, I see something over here.
Oh my.
There was another fibroid there, but thankfully it was on the opposite side from where Talia was growing.
Okay.
So it never became an issue, but the pregnancy went fairly well. I've been through some things. The pregnancy went fairly well. At some point, I had an car accident.
Oh my God.
And I was thinking, okay, everything is good. I went home, told my husband, I'm like, I'm home, everything is fine. And then he's like, you need to call your OBGYN just to make sure. I'm like, I am fine. There is nothing. It was just a small bump. And I called the OBGYN's office and they say, come, we need to check you out just to make sure. And I tell you, Gaby, when I got there, I was feeling little, like how cramping pretty much. But I was like, just tightening.
Yes.
That will go away and then tightening. And they were like, you having contractions. I'm like, oh, great. Oh. So that was the last, it was about the last month of pregnancy. Okay. So they kept me in the hospital trying to stop the contractions, put me on meds, and they were able to reduce them. And I went home, but I had to be on bed rest. And so pretty much when I had her, my plan was to take 3 months off, but that whole month cut it to just 2 months after I had her. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
But it's not apart from that, everything is fine.
Yeah. I mean, there's always just things in life that just want to come in your way, but just how God help us and we overcome them and, where we are right now. So, wow, that's amazing. Yeah. I mean, we are all proud to be moms for God choosing us to be this mother of these children and just appreciate these gifts that God has given to us.
So true.
Yes, it's a gift. Awesome. So what would you want to encourage our listeners today? Just kind of rounding it off, what would you want this woman to hear and be encouraged today?
Well, the main thing I will say is, and that's in everything in life, so many things happen to us, good and bad to all of us, but sometimes those negative things can really break us down. But I just want to encourage people not to lose faith, not to lose hope. There is always, because if we don't have that hope, what else do we have? If we don't have that hope, it's so important. So I would just say, have that hope, never to give up, never to give up. The way I look at it, there is always a solution. There is always a way, so it's just about not letting, and I'm not going to say that when my son was having all these things, I was just like, oh, everything is, of course, you get that,
doubt, stress.
Yes, you get stressed. You doubt so many things like, Lord, why? You gave me this beautiful child, because that's what one of the things I was like, so you mean this is how he's going to live for the rest of his life, because we had to carry the machine everywhere we were going, the breathing machine, because everywhere, vacation, wherever, we have to have spots in the suitcase for the medications, take the ibuprofen, Tylenol, the breathing treatments, everything, the inhalers, the allergy medications. It's like we had our little medication box. We were going,
like a little hospital around.
Exactly. Everything was in there. I kid you not. So I was like, so this is how it's going to be. So I was discouraged. There were some down moments, but the thing is never to give up and never take it like, this is the final, this is it. because this is not it. There is always a solution. So it's just, we have to be those little detectives and seeking, like never to give up and seek. Just seek, see what you can
also
do.
Learning to be your own advocate too.
That's right. So true. Even in our own health, when we go see the doctors, there are many times when I didn't know any better, I would go to see the doctor and he would say this A, B, C, D, and I would just take it for his word for it, or I would just go along, but it's like, okay, if you come and you ask your doctor, man, can you check for this one? And I had to learn to be that for my son, because he couldn't speak. He didn't know what was good for him or not. But when I started doing my research, I come, hey, can you check? How is his lab work for this? Can you check his iron level? I want to see, is he anemic? Because I'm not understanding this. Or can you check, how is his magnesium? With all this constipation, he's just, and I wouldn't have known about that unless I did some more digging on my side, right? And unfortunately, a lot of doctors don't like that when you come and question what they are doing. But hey, you know what? Nobody is going to stand up for you or for your children. You have to be the one standing for yourself. Nobody is going to do that. You have to do it for yourself. Your kids can come and tell the doctor, hey, I need this. You have to be the voice. You have to be their voice. The doctors are not with you at home and seeing what your kid is going through, I still remember my son with constipation. We had to give him Miralax and suppositories. And this little boy, when he sees us coming and he knows it's suppository time, oh, he will cry. And as a mom, you just break down. The doctor is not with you at home when you are going through that, So it's like, it needs to stop. What can I do to make this stop? Let me do my research. Let me take this to the doctor. It doesn't cost him anything. The doctor doesn't have to pay for that. I'm willing to pay for it. Just do, even if the insurance doesn't cover it, just do it. I'll pay out of pocket for that. I just want it done just to see, just to have my peace of mind. That's it. And when he did that, when I was coming to him with this doctor was pretty good, even though he would say, well, I don't think so. But he'd say, okay, I'll go ahead and order it. You have some that will say no. Yeah. If he says no, maybe it's time for you to find a different doctor, because there are a lot of doctors that will actually go along with what you want done. Plenty and great doctors, or just come, it's just all that. So when it's like that and you feel like your doctor is not meeting, answering your questions and getting your needs addressed, then it might be definitely time to look for another one that will listen to you and work with you, because what we do, functional medicine, is about collaboration.
Yes.
Those that I work with, I don't just come and tell you, oh, you need to do this, but this is what it is. Let's talk. Let's collaborate. Let's work together. I'm here to listen to you, and see, how can I help you? How can I best assist you? That's why not everybody is the same. That's why not the same interventions are going to work for everybody the same, because we are all unique. That's how God made us. We are all different. So
that's right. Girl, you just hit a lot of points there. It's one of the things too, trying to teach my clients how to be their own self-advocates. And yes, if you are having too many things with your healthcare provider, they're not seem like they're being a team player with you. Of course, we do respect the education or the experience, but again, this is your self, this is your child. If it's no, it's always a friction all the time with everything you request. It's not, you don't expect that they will accept everything you request, but if it's just, you just see a level where that it's time to change, that you see your child is not getting better, or you are not getting better, and the doctor is not listening to what you're telling them, something has to change. Something has to change, be our own self-advocate. Yeah. So Marlene, how can people connect with you? Where are you found? Where can they find you? And tell us if you are doing any projects, any things that we need to know.
Well, People right now, people can find me on Instagram at Dr Marlene Rosana on Instagram, and I'm also on Facebook. Same thing, Marlene Rosana. And I also have a Facebook group actually where I share tips and information with members, and it's living life by design. And projects that I'm working on, I'm actually working on creating my own skincare products. I am working also those, all the things that I did with my son as far as blends. I have one of them over here.
Yes.
The blends that I did for him, to support his immune system and things like that. Blends that I did, for tummy pain, and things like that, for relaxation. And so I'm actually working on, producing them and just making them available for people to have just that, extra immune support or skincare or, but those are the things that I'm working on, and also working on a project to start a program starting in January. So that's those are the main things. Lots of work, lots of things. I'm still trying to put things together, but just, yes, if you follow me on Instagram or like my page on Facebook, definitely you'll be informed of these different projects that I'm working on.
Awesome. And also, Marlene, we're also going to be authors as well.
Yes, that's right. Very much excited with that. We work with a group of amazing women, and then just telling about our stories, right? And so many women need to know that. So many women need to hear these things. So we are just so excited. I'm so excited about that.
Yes.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal. And, we're sharing these stories of, how the journey of us getting into this space of this healthcare or this space of medicine. So in that book, we're going to be hearing all these stories of all these women. Yes. I think 19 of us or 20. We're all going to be sharing our stories. It's unleash the story within. So sharing the stories of why we decided to go into this alternative way of medicine. So that would be great. Yes,
it will. Can't wait.
Yes. So all these things, all these links of Marlene, I will have it. If you're watching it on YouTube, it's going to be on the description area. So you can connect with her. And if you are listening to it on any of the podcast platform, you're going to see it on the show notes there. So make sure you connect with Marlene. She got a lot of goodies for you. Yes. Wow. So thank you so much, Marlene, for taking your time to come today. I really appreciate you.
Well, thank you so much, Gaby, for having me. It's been a while. I know we're planning this today. And so finally it happened, but it's a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome. That's right. Well, I'm going to end this episode today with my favorite quote from Maya Angelou. She says, "When you know better, you do better." All right, guys. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.